So viewers, even as we speak right now, there is an all-party meeting that is currently underway in the national capital to, in a way, discuss the LAC face-off that was witnessed earlier this week on the intervening night of Monday. In fact, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh himself has briefed the leaders of the opposition parties, including Sonia Gandhi, Mamata Banerjee, KCR, Stalin, who are also part of the meeting. This was called last evening by Rajnath Singh himself, who called individually all these party leaders to make sure that they are in a way in know of what exactly is the situation on ground in LAC. We'll also go across to Pradeep Bhandari, who's also joining us from the Delhi studios. But before that, we also have our political editor Aishwarya Kapoor, who's also joining us live, and these are the live visuals and latest visuals on your screens right now of this all-party meet on the LAC face-off that is underway in the national capital, headed by Prime Minister Modi himself, along with Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who has already briefed the leaders of the opposition parties. This party also includes Sonia Gandhi, Mamata Banerjee, KCR, Stalin, who are all part of this meeting. This is a very crucial meeting, viewers. In a way, the ruling party wants to make sure that all the parties concerned in the country are in know of what is the situation on ground, what will be the blueprint that the government is looking at in tackling countering the Beijing diplomatically, economically, as well as militarily. In fact, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh also apprised the opposition leader on the LAC standoff. Let's go across to our political editor Aishwarya Kapoor, is also joining us. So Aishwarya, this is a very important meeting that is currently underway. What we do know is that Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is apprising the opposition leader of the LAC standoff. Please take us through the details.
Well, at this point of time, this meeting is being chaired by the Prime Minister. In presence are leaders of 20 opposition parties, and then, as you mentioned, Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, and then the External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar are present. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and then External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, both of them have briefed the opposition party, these very leaders who are present, because this very all-party meeting is first and foremost happening through video conference because of COVID. But secondly, the kind of situation which is prevailing at the LAC between India and China, the Prime Minister wanted to take all the complete political class together for one. Because we've seen, apart from the Congress party, no other political party has raised the question on the Indian army. It is only Rahul Gandhi who has every time raised the question on the valor of our soldiers, who has raised the question on Indian army, who has raised the question on our army chief. But all the other political parties have been quiet on this because they understand that the kind of aggression which the Chinese have shown, it is only and only because of the valor of our soldiers that India is safe. And there is no doubt about it. Complete India needs to stand together with our army, with our armed forces. And that's why you see the Prime Minister is trying to get every political party, irrespective of their different political ideologies, the Congress, the BSP, the NCP, SP, any party, all of these parties today need to stand together with our army, with the people of India, because the sense within the India is clear that you need to hit back at China and it needs to be a multi-pronged approach. It is not only through the army, it is not only through the diplomatic channel, it is a multi-pronged approach which the government of India is basically going to inherit. And we've already seen within the last 48 to 72 hours the kind and rather different wings of the government, different ministries of the government creating such situation which is going to be very difficult for the Chinese firms to work in India. That is only one aspect of it. As far as the military options are concerned, government of India has categorically stated that forget about 2 kilometer, 40 kilometer, 60 kilometer, an inch of land will not be given, and that has been clearly stated by the Defence Minister of India in this all-party meet as well. And the same has been reiterated by the External Affairs Minister that not an inch of a land will be given to the Chinese, rest assured. And for that matter, we've seen 20 of our brave hearts, 20 of our soldiers laying down their life. Every Indian soldier has minimum taken 2 Chinese soldiers with him. But this should not have happened. This has happened because of the unprecedented aggression which has been shown by the Chinese. And this is something which India has raised up, or rather raised already at multiple fronts. But what needs to be done now, that when the people of India are together, standing shoulder to shoulder with our armed forces, it's up to the political class to come together. They cannot be a divided house, at least at such a sensitive situation, Richa.
Absolutely, Aishwarya. In fact, I'll also bring in Pradeep Bhandari, who's also joining us live at this point. So, Pradeep, this meeting is also crucial in a way on a backdrop when we are seeing the opposition opposition parties like Congress coming out and criticizing the moves and the steps taken by our forces, including our centre government as well. So in a way, do you think that there might be some form of consensus that might be formed after they are in a way apprised about the situation? Or do you think that such kind of constant attacks that are coming in from Rahul Gandhi and all the other such leaders, including the Ladakh MP, the Ladakh leader also in a way might go on? Or will this reach some consensus?
Well, it's only the Congress party, Pradeep. Pradeep, it is only the Congress party.
Yes. Yes. In fact, Aishwarya, that's what I was taking it forward, and rightly Aishwarya said that it is only the Congress party. In fact, today also on the day of all-party meeting, if you observe the tweets of Rahul Gandhi, it is absolutely in nature of trying to politicize the whole issue. He's tweeted twice today. One of them is to do with blaming the government for the entire India-China clash. The number two is where Rahul Gandhi has tweeted a half video. So the objective of the Congress party, particularly of Rahul Gandhi, is to politicize the issue. We've seen that in Balakot. We've seen how one of the Congress leaders had called the army chief Sadak Ka Gunda, and today the ex-Congress councillor has not yet been dismissed from the party. He has just been given a show cause notice despite the anti-India,
of that leader, Pradeep, the designation of that Congress leader doesn't matter. Yes. What matters is the peg is taken from where? The peg of such thought process, the peg of such ideation is taken from Rahul Gandhi. When your leader will question the Indian army chief, when your leader will question the valor of our soldiers, these kind of comments will come. And that's where the problem lies, in the thought process of the leadership of the Congress party, Pradeep.
Absolutely, Aishwarya, and this has completely started, and we've seen this in the past, whether it is Rahul Gandhi going and standing with the Tukde gang in JNU, whether it is the Congress party questioning the Balakot airstrike. This has been a trend. So any Congress worker will know that till the time we do not speak the voice of the High Command, which is against the army, we will not be in the party. So I am absolutely in consonance with you that what is happening in Ladakh with the Congress Council is just not an isolated incident. It is the tenor of how the Congress has become a fringe organization under Rahul Gandhi today.
Well, absolutely, and these kind of comments which are coming out at this point of time, and that is the exact reason why this all-party meeting, Richa, has been called in, which is being chaired by the Prime Minister. It has in presence the Defence Minister, Home Minister, External Affairs Minister, and all of these ministers have spoken prior to the Prime Minister, because the message needs to go out to the complete opposition, and via complete opposition to the people of the country, that the political class needs to come together at such an unprecedented time. After 67, for the first time, we've seen blood being spilled at the LAC, though no shots fired, but it's only because of the Indian Army's professionalism. Otherwise, they could have, instead of 40 odd, they could have been 430 Chinese soldiers down. But the Indian Army is a professional army. We did not use, and all of that is being very clearly spelled out by the Defence Minister in that all-party meet. So all those questions which the opposition leaders have, they can ask, and the Prime Minister is chairing it. So I don't think there are going to be any doubts there. But the fact remains that the Prime Minister and this government is trying its best to get the political class together, because a strong message needs to go out. The people of the country have sent a very strong message. The Indian Army has basically sent a very befitting reply. Now it's the turn of the Indian political class. They need to come together. Even if Congress doesn't come, all the other political parties of the country come together, irrespective of how big and small they are. They need to come together and give back a political message back to China that we stand together at every possible front. Richa.
Absolutely, Aishwarya. And as you rightly pointed out, the consensus and the unity of all parties and across the country is so very important, because in a way, the country has to stand united against China at this point and make sure that the message reaches them in a clear way. And even if there is criticism coming in from parties like Congress constantly, the initiative or the effort of the government is that they want that all parties are on the same board, so that they can in a way send out a singular message.
Yeah. Well, absolutely, and Pradeep can take it forward from here, Pradeep.
Aishwarya, I have a point
please,
that, it is not about opposition, it is about standing with the country. But the second question, Aishwarya, I think the point to ponder is that there are a lot of Break India forces which we have continuously exposed, and today you saw how one of these Break India forces who is aligned politically to the Congress party, said that the enemy is not the Chinese, it's the enemy is the government. So at this critical juncture, also these Break India forces inside, which have been mushroomed by the Congress party, are exposing themselves, and this is also a threat at this juncture.
Well, this is directly related to the Congress. He is a Congress leader. And if a Congress leader is saying it, and that's why we say that the peg is being taken from nowhere but Rahul Gandhi himself. When your leader is going to question the army chief, as you said, the army chief was called a Gali Ka Gunda. When you raise a question on the valor of our soldiers across the world, nowhere in any country politics is done over the Indian army. The irony is that only in India, which has the world's most professional army, the world's most dedicated army, the Congress party, which has ruled this country for 50 plus years, Pradeep and Richa, those are the party, and their leader, Rahul Gandhi, raises the question on the valor of our soldiers. He asked the question to our soldiers that, is our army aware? Where are the Chinese exactly placed on the LAC? Yes, they are aware. And they have made sure that not an inch of a land is given to them. 20 of our brave hearts have laid down their life. This is something which Rahul Gandhi and his party needs to understand, and a message needs to go from those leaders within the Congress party who are able to decipher this. That an anti-India stand, you already have a senior BJP leader, a member of parliament, writing an open letter to Rahul Gandhi,
Right.
Pradeep and Richa, calling his thought process as, or basically against the national interest. Vinay Sahasrabuddhe. So now, what Rahul Gandhi needs to understand, or rather whether he will
Absolutely.
understand ever or not, that you cannot question the Indian army. Richa.
In fact, Ishwarya, we'll slip into a short break now. We'll come back to this very important story of this all-party meeting that is currently underway in the national capital. Stay tuned. We'll come back to